Today gonna do this whole podcasting. So I am insecure kid. What I'm supposed to do, find a practical way to actually get down into like real conversation and real stuff. Cancerous, no, real shit. I love it. Settings looks fine. Or you know, I love it. Settings looks fine. We're good to go. Um, mm, Yo, what's up, JackLoh
Hey,
here, man?
how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Like, how are you, man? I know it's like quite late at your side already, right? Like, and
Yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah,
what
yeah,
time
yeah.
is it there?
It's currently morning on my side. Yeah, so it's all cool. It's 11. I think there's like 12 hours difference or something. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you mind if I record this? Just in
Yeah,
case we come up with something good?
oh yeah, sure. Like, feel free to do it, man. Like, because like, I'm
I'm
just
trying to it
right.
I haven't really done it much, but it says please request recording permission from the meeting host. I'm not sure
Okay.
how that works.
Yeah, you give me a sec. I think I got to like allow you to do that.
Trying to get some practice in.
Right. All right. I think you're good to record right now.
Cool.
Like, are you
Let's
okay like doing a video call or something like this?
yeah, yeah, we're cool. Can you see me?
Right now,
Oh, for
no.
1 second.
Right. Yeah, I think.
Um,
Okay, I see you now. I think.
okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, like, I think before like we actually do this whole thing, I think it's kind of like nice if we kind of like know each other a little bit, and then from there like kind of like icebreaker, like what we about, that kind of stuff. And because I found you through like Gary V, the one of the tea with Gary V, one of the episode, and I saw you in, and just that's where I hit you up. And yeah, like some kind of like icebreaker, get to know each other, like what we're about, yeah. And then
Yeah, for sure.
afterwards probably I'll tell you about like what's the podcast, like what we're gonna talk about, how long it's gonna take. It's pretty much like I think close to 30 minutes, uh around that time frame. And yeah, like we're gonna talk about that. So like first of all, like icebreaker shit, man. Like yeah, like I gotta tell about myself, and probably you can tell about yourself as well. So I'm currently 22, turning 23 this year. I'm from Southeast Asia, Singapore. So yeah, and this country is pretty cool and all that shit. And because like in Singapore it's compulsory to attend to military at like around my age. And so right now I'm in the army, yeah, serving in the military, and it's coming out in like 3 to 4 months. And you probably will kind of like ask why I kind of like do this whole podcast thing. Is because like I consume a lot of Gary V stuff, and then he always talk about like starting a podcast and that kind of stuff. And so I started back last year. So this is pretty much kind of like a side hustle kind of a thing, because I'm in the military, and during the weekends just do podcasts, try stuff here and there, and find to like it kind of like works for me and that kind of stuff. This is my
Yeah.
mom. Yeah, hope you don't mind.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm like, as you see, I'm living with my family and all that. And like in Asian culture, I feel that I get coddled a lot, like by my parents, that kind of stuff. I think that's like how Asian country works. Like we get taken care of by our family, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I just
Almost
feel like
everywhere but America.
yeah. So I feel like I'm a kind of like a soft kid, to be honest. And yeah, that's like a general vibes like I wanna give you for now. Like you can pretty much already can tell already, like moms walks in and that kind of stuff. Yeah, all this kind of things. Yeah, you probably can tell me about yourself, man. Like yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm 29.
Right.
Um, I have had two, I guess, interests my entire life. One was dance, and the other was food.
Right.
When I was really young, I worked in the food industry to pay for dancing, and so uh, I did those both very seriously since I was 14. And so I went to school in college to do both dancing and study hospitality, and I ended up studying finance as
Right.
well. Mostly just because it's harder, and I feel like if you want to start a business, it's helpful to know finance.
Right.
Um, and so when I was in college, I was on a show called Dancing with the Stars. I'm not sure if you know that show, but it's a ballroom dancing TV show.
Mm.
Um, and I did that a little bit. And then when I got out of school, I went to do finance, and I
Yeah.
hated it. I
Yeah.
thought it was the most boring thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
Um, I enjoyed numbers, but I did not like it what it was being used for. So I went back into restaurants with a really good group that I moved all over the United States with. Um, and then I got to a point where I was 24, and you don't want to have regrets. And some of my old coaches were asking me to go professional with
Yeah.
dancing,
Yeah.
and so I said I would. So I did that for about 3 years
Mhm.
until that was just about a year ago that I stopped that. But I was able to travel internationally and within the United States, and did a couple TV things, and it was a lot of fun. It's
Right.
basically
I think
you learn
it's
how to.
pretty much like trying stuff, like you going out to taste stuff and then traveling, learning about different culture. I think there's a lot to it, like just besides like just going around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best thing about the future is I think a lot of people are going to have that opportunity. I mean, even with businesses, I think a lot of them are going remote, and if they don't, then they're probably not going to be as successful.
Right.
But yeah, one of my old bosses brought me out here to open up and create this property that I'm at right now. And there's
Right.
a nightclub, there's cafes, there's restaurants.
Right.
It's basically a giant entertainment building of sorts. And soon I'm going to do my own restaurant, which is why I was on Gary Vee, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I've always followed him, and I listened to tons and tons of content.
Yeah.
And and I was nervous because
Yeah.
the
It's a
city
big
I'm
guy,
in,
right? Like it's gonna be like nerve wracking, to be honest. Yeah.
it's what?
It's gonna be definitely nerve wracking to like actually talk to Gary Vee because he's such a big guy, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you talked to him yet? Have you gotten on the
No.
show?
No, I didn't go on to the show, but I actually want the opportunity to like like talk to him for FaceTime for a minute or so, but it didn't happen. And I didn't really have like sort of like a burning question to like kind of like talk to him, so I'm kind of holding it off for a little bit, because I'm still figuring out stuff, learning about different things. Like there's still not okay, here's the thing, like I don't really have like a thing to kind of like ask him, so
Gotcha.
I'm holding all it off.
What do you want to do? Like, what would be the dream job
Yeah,
if money was?
that's the thing. So like me in the military, and like I used to study in engineering, like in the engineering field, like throughout my whole entire life. And then like during the military I started to like think that's not what I actually want to do. So like I mean like doing this whole podcast thing, like I find it like very nice and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is it's not gonna put me on a financial stable kind of like a thing for me. So I need to do some shitty jobs. So I think coming out from military, I think I'm gonna do some shitty jobs, to be honest, like some
I
customer
feel like
service job, and at the same time during the weekends I do this whole podcast thing. I don't Yeah.
I mean, can you get a shitty job in an industry that you like or is somewhat interesting? What do you
Yeah,
what do you
yeah. I'm actually trying that as well. Like, because I've been doing this whole podcast thing, so I kind of put it onto my resume, and I'm looking into some like media industry because I think I like to produce content, like
Yeah.
some kind of like content, like something like this. uh I don't know, like is it part of me, like because like I've been in this Asia culture, and then I been coddled, and I feel like I've been built to become a very soft kid. And like recently I think Gary Vee posted a video about like insecurity, and that relates me to a lot, and I feel that I kind of need to like work on that. I don't know if it's still. So here's the thing, here's the punchline is, I don't know, like I don't know if like is it because I'm insecure, that's why I like to produce the content, or like B, is it that I just like in my DNA or what's or not that I like to produce content. You see where I'm going?
Why
Like
why do you why do you like producing content?
yeah. I don't know, like I feel like right now for me it's like pretty much doing this for like a very natural kind of like a process, to be honest. Like I at the start, like the very like comparing like the very first episode of the podcast and up to today, like the first, it's so forced, it's so like fanciful, it's so fluff,
Yeah.
like just for the sake of interview and all that kind of shit. And until today, I'm happy to say that like from a scale of 0 to 10, I think that I'm hitting at least 6 of like reaching this of like authenticity, reaching of like this type of like rawness, like asking things, like talking about topics that I am actually like thinking about, like all the stuff that talking to you about, like it's real, it's some real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope, like I don't know, like if you can vibe it out or not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's tough to find what you really want to do. And I don't think being a soft person is a bad thing. You know,
Yeah.
I think like people perceive that as a bad thing.
Yeah,
I
like
think I think
I
what softness gives some people is like empathy,
right. Yeah,
which is what Gary Vee has a lot of.
yeah. I think that's a great observation that you kind of feel that I'm like having a lot of negative association to the things that I'm currently am doing, and that's a fantastic observation, and I've been on it so far. Yeah. And like
Well, and the benefit too is like you're in a culture where like I guess yeah, where a lot of people are probably feel similar to you. I mean, and then I feel like when you get out of it or when you see the other side of it, you're gonna be able to help a lot of them. You'll be like, I was right there with you, you know.
right.
But you're actually taking the chance and like being vulnerable and like you're actually you're making an effort, which most people don't.
Right.
Most
Right.
people don't try at all.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
I think it's not fun to be out here like trying this type of things. And like me having like a lot of my military friends, like a bunch of friends, like people who I hang out with, like followed me on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Me on the Instagram actually posting all my insecurities, all my invulnerabilities that I feel like really bad about. And I think I've come to a point that I got to understand that everyone has their own shortcomings. And if I get to like understand that, like having that context, I think I'm gonna like lead to a lot of like good stuff that I can do whatever shit I want to do, to be honest.
yeah, and I think Gary Vee preached it too. And this is kind of when I was dancing, I had tons of coaches, right? Like
Right.
it's kind of it's pulling finding you. It's not because like you can't compete against everybody, right? You can't in life. You can't like if somebody's really really good with numbers, like don't compete with them on numbers. Maybe you know a little bit, but you're really good with people. So don't try to like learn more about numbers. Let them do their thing. Like you're going to be successful through the traits that you uniquely have. And so I don't know. I haven't really looked at much of your Instagram, but like if it's all insecurities, I mean, maybe you probably already done this, but if you like talk about some of the things that you think are strengths, and then I'm sure that once you start talking about things that are strengths, and then when you talk to more people on your podcast or people in real life, like in your surroundings, I'm sure you're probably going to realize that some of your insecurities were actually strengths, and you'll be able to post videos about, that video I did last year, motherfucker, that's a strength. I just found out today because of this, this, and this. So it would be interesting to see if like for 30 days you did like, hey, for 30 days I'm going to only focus on like my strengths and like showing you those strengths or something. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I like that because like like if you were to like focus down on like a singular thing, things will start to look less messier and less confusing, to be honest. And yeah, like okay, like back onto the whole podcast thing, yeah. So I
Yep,
think
yep.
we kind of like understood like what we're about and like the things that we're talking about and all this type of stuff. I think it's like pretty much the things that we can actually talk during the podcast. I really like the vibes, and we are going really slow over here and to like actually like talk about a few stuff here. But just to make sure like how much time you comfortable like going on this with, like the
Yeah, if
thir-
we if we
30
do if
minutes.
we yeah, that'd be
Okay,
good.
okay. Like I will just make sure like set a timer so that we don't overshoot it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Like so like this whole podcasting, I think I want to go around is that I want to like go around like your lifestyle and your mindset. And I think like I used to always like kind of like talk about the lifestyle in the past and that kind of stuff. I don't know if like it's like a good way to like talk about stuff, to be honest. I feel that we should focus on like what's current, you know, like what's up with you right now, like you doing this whole restaurant thing, and like how you juggling with life, like those morning routine and all that kind of stuff. And like what's life like right now, and how much like personal life like you willing to share. I don't know, just stuff, that's
Yeah,
right now. And how do you think about stuff like, yeah, like navigating through life in your 20s, reaching your 30s as well. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, hope you're cool with that, man.
I'm good with it.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's start off like so who are you and what you about, man, like right now? Yeah.
So right now, I feel like I care a lot about creating really cool experiences, but more importantly, uh, creating really good people around me.
Right.
So like if you're going to show up every single day, I want to be really happy about it, and I want to make people successful around me. I think I get a lot of satisfaction from that. That's from a career standpoint. From a personal standpoint, I just had a kid, and I just got married 2 years ago, so it's
Nice.
adjusting to a very new lifestyle.
Yeah, that's
Right
gonna
before,
be
it's like
very
all
new,
about,
right?
yeah. It's all about. Before it was all about me. I've always been a little selfish in that, and now it's like obviously like everybody says about somebody else, and what I'm trying to do is still try to accomplish and push content or success, but fitting in those other factors because I need to reprioritize a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot
like,
of like adjustments to kind of like do, definitely.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I am trying to find that balance, and it's been actually easier with this whole COVID thing because you're forced
Good.
to stay home sometimes. I mean, it's actually helped me a lot. I actually say this COVID thing is amazing for my personal life because thankfully it hasn't really affected too many people in my life, but it has allowed me to like spend time and realize the value of time a little bit more. And so like in the morning, you mentioned like a morning routine of sorts.
Yeah.
um, I get up at the same time every single day now, which didn't happen before. It would be all over the place based on my schedule. And so if I get up every the same time every day, I do have a routine. I basically spend an hour with my kid feeding him, listening to a podcast, usually Gary Vee or one of my restaurant podcasts or something. Or I'm like trying to write 2 books on my notepad on my phone. So because I can't like do it on a computer, and so I literally just pull up my notepad and like type it with one hand. Um, just because I finally feel like I have some knowledge that I can share and be valuable. Up until now, I felt like I was working shitty jobs, like you said you wanted to do,
Yeah.
and I've worked enough shitty jobs and been in enough shitty positions that I finally have something to give out. I feel like I've been a bitch for a long time, and I can finally have some bitches underneath me,
Yeah.
which is great.
Sorry to
Um,
interrupt right over here, but like you talk about like shitty jobs, like for you like experiencing through like shitty jobs, how was it like for you? Is it like a shitty job like from 9 to 5, and then like do you like in the meantime do you like spend time using your phone to get into like something to create some kind of like side hustle to be on, like to lead to the day that you are in right now? Because like
Yeah.
you've been living it, and so like I don't know like how was it for you doing those like shitty job days?
Yeah, so my first shitty job was a 9 to 5, and I considered finance. I was an analyst. It's really shitty jobs because I didn't like what I did.
Yeah,
And on the side, I was trying to dance and become professional on the side. So that was kind of my side hustle per se. I didn't produce a whole lot of income, but down the road, it kind of helped a lot. And then as I went back in, as I worked in restaurants, yeah, the thing is like I wanted to own restaurants someday, and so it was a shitty job in what I thought was a cool industry. So it's really just like working for minimum wage for 8 to 12, 14, 16 hours a day. By then, you don't really have much time afterward, in hopes that eventually you'll have enough knowledge to not fail in the future, because
yeah,
a lot of restaurants and a lot of entertainment venues fail. But I'm finally at a point where I've ate so much shit where like I'm in a really cool place where we create really cool experiences, and to get a job like this is actually pretty hard because it's really it's like entertainment, like in TV,
yeah,
like you eat a lot of shit, but then eventually you might get to the top and make a lot of money.
yeah,
Like I feel like I'm just barely at that point where possibly I can break that border of like shitty jobness and actually making money and like getting above it all.
yeah.
So
So
I'm
is
still
it like
keeping my head down.
yeah? So is it like you got into this area of field where you have like interest on, but it's like in at a very minimum wage for you to like kind of like work and try to like gain as much knowledge as much as possible for you to
Exactly.
be able to like get out of it to get into the position that you are in, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely working to get knowledge, and not money. It hurt if you try to think about money. I am thinking about now doing like side hustles for money though. I mean,
Yeah,
whether it's the books or it's like using my dance skills that I have to like teach lessons on the side just to have extra money to um, maybe buy real estate at some point, or
yeah,
I don't know, just do something, go on vacations and actually have a life. I mean, yeah, I haven't had a life in a while.
yeah. I mean,
But
life is about like just like got to like have fun and do the things that you kind of like and all those like passion stuff. And I see where you're going. Like you are, I feel like you are like trying stuff. Like you are like trying to experiment stuff. Like try this, try that, and then you got to like and I feel that there's like sort of like a balance that you are trying to control, to be honest, like finance wise or in the passion wise, because you were like talking about real estate, and yeah, it makes sense to me. And so how do you kind of like balance though? Like because I feel like you are trying to find a good balance to prioritize family, passion, finance. There's a lot of things to actually juggle with, right? And like yeah,
yeah, um, I don't know. I think up until now I haven't balanced well. It's kind of like what Gary said. Like I
yeah,
really focused on all the career stuff, hoping that it would pan out, and then my wife is just amazing and puts up with me. And I think I'm at the point with the kid that I am going to have to like put more focus on them. But I do think that there's going to be a big focus on career over the next year or two, and then I'll be able to finally hopefully focus more on them. Um,
right,
it's really tough. I mean,
yeah. But
I
right
think
now, I just want to try to understand like how is it like for you right now, like doing this whole job that you're doing like right now, like from your Monday to your Fridays especially. Like how
yeah,
is it like for your job? Like what do you like juggle with? Like what's the struggles? Like what's so not?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like just to get some context of like what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, immediately it's obviously everything's shut down, and we're just preparing to reopen and
Right,
make money again.
right,
On like before this, what it's struggling with is usually when I'm basically building this entire business. So you're just here for a long time creating systems and training people, and making sure there's really good like you're making sure customers come back, and you create a personal experience, and our brand is known for doing things above and beyond and create these amazing shows, which if they're new things and they're not routines, it takes a lot more time to plan and make sure that they go well. And so it's just a lot of time. Um, and then I balance that with trying to give my wife time because she's a quality time person. And so how I've done that in the past is try to like block it off. So I'll be at work for like 12 to 14 hours, and then I come home, and then I don't always do it, but I should just shut off my phone for about 2 hours so I can completely focus on her. and then I sometimes have to go back to work or maybe do another one of my side hustles so I can feel satisfied. Because if you spend, I feel like if I spend all my time at my current work and then I spend time with her, then I don't feel like I have time to myself to like come up with new ideas. And I feel like that's what gives people like you and me motivation is like thinking of
Yeah, I get what you mean.
the future,
Yeah,
right? Like you get motivated by
yeah,
creation.
yeah.
And if you can't create, I mean, that's the cool thing about this job is I'm creating a bunch of things, but I'm finally at a point where the creation is getting normal and I'm
Right.
getting bored.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
moving on to the next
yeah,
created
yeah.
product.
The vibe that I kind of like feel when you are talking about is like I just feel that like at some point like we kind of like overjudge ourselves a little bit too much, like, oh, should I spend a bit more time towards like this aspect of my life, like towards my family, or like should I spend more time like doing this co-creativity kind of a thing. And it totally makes sense to me, like it's really hard to like find the right balance to do all this whole thing until you kind of like experience it. And it's a whole new level, like to get past this stage, to be honest. And I just feel like we shouldn't like kind of like overjudge ourselves way too much whenever we do things like, oh shit, I should have spent more time with my family. Oh
Yeah.
shit, I should have spent more time like on this creativity. But if I did that, I could have like leveraged through this whole thing, and my finance will be much more stable. And I totally get that, man, like, to be honest. And yeah, like because I'm just so bad at this, to be honest. I overjudge myself a lot. And
Yeah.
I can kind of like vibe it out from how you're saying, as you were like talking about like you juggling with the things in the area of your life. Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, and I am really interested in media now, like doing videos and coming up with content because it is the future. So I can relate with you of, you have all these, you have your friends that you want to spend time with, you have school, you have your family, but then you kind of want to do this media related concept. And I still don't think it's 100% accepted in society. It's going to be very soon, but I don't think like if say, hey, I'm doing a podcast the weekend, I think your friends are like, what are you doing? It's like,
Yeah.
why don't you just come out and have a drink with us or whatever. Um, and so even at work, like I'm starting to do it here because I just
Oh,
want to and have time. And so I
right.
just started taking videos and I started shooting it to our marketing people. And I just bombard them with them. And they
Yeah.
sometimes laugh and don't think they're possible. But now they're asking me, they're like, hey, can you make a video for this, and that? I'm like, sure, why not? And I'm trying to leverage that to like get some followers or just learn. Again, like doing it for free and doing it in a cool atmosphere, but you can learn, which is again, you're kind of doing a shitty job, a shitty version of it, but at least you learn for the future.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like you like are trying like this whole new thing. Like like you keep on doing like people at the start will be like asking, what the hell are you doing all this thing? And then like slowly but surely, like people find out, hey, this is actually something that is a really cool thing to do. That I also want to do it. And I like that a lot. Like you keep trying. And then like I think it's like pretty much a same experience for me. Like me doing this whole podcast thing. Like people like will be like asking like, oh, why you do this whole thing is so like boring, and that kind of stuff. But and then sometimes they really wanna like say like in the future, oh, I wanna be a guest in your podcast as well. And yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean, yeah, it's
things
like
will
five
work in your
five years down the
favor.
line.
Yeah.
5 years down the line, when everybody is doing it, they're like, "Hey, you've already been doing this for like 5, 10 years. Like, what? You're going to be leagues above them." Because I mean, that's an obvious thing. Like this world of podcasting, this world of video conferencing, this world of like learning online through other people, it's not going away. Like, there's no way it's going away. Like, this is only the future, and people that aren't doing it or like trying to dip their toes in it are they're gonna be really far behind. And I think just us doing this, like, even if it's real hodgepodge and like not perfect, it's still so much. I think we need to give ourselves credit for trying it and going through the mud. Like Gary always says,
Yeah.
be in the dirt and head in the clouds at the same time. Like this is the
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
dirt of like
Yeah.
figuring this shit out.
Yeah, I mean like what we are talking about right here is not like some like fluffy kind of like shit. We're just talking about like like what's going on. And I think that that comes like to a lot of like self-awareness for us, like to understand like what is going on with our lives and all that kind of good stuff. So like jumping away from that, let's get back on track on like talking about like your life stuff, like your Monday to your Fridays, like yeah, how is it like for you? Like to be
Yeah.
honest, like yeah.
My Monday is a Tuesday, and then my Friday is Saturday because I work Friday, Saturday because it's usually the big entertainment days.
Okay.
So Monday through Thursday are from from a personal perspective. When I wake up, is just kind of zoning in and working out and trying to get woken up and motivated. Because when I come into work, I lead like over 100 people, and so if I'm not positive or if I don't have energy, they suck. Like
Yeah.
they feel it and then they come down and they can't do it. So if I don't take care of myself first, then I feel like I can't make other people successful, like make them feel like they can do their job and be energetic. And
Yeah.
so when I get into work, uh, I have a lot of meetings with like owners of the buildings and vice presidents of the company, and they're asking my advice and like
Right.
guidance of like where they think we should go. And there's just lots and lots of meetings about making money, about marketing and like growing the business,
Right.
and about how to improve things that we aren't doing so well. And then like there's little blips of time, like during lunch, I'm going to jump into the dining room and actually talk to people. The thing that's actually fun, talk to people, serve food, make sure the food is good. And then I go right back into meetings and like projects and building things to make the people successful. And then at six
Right.
o'clock, I jump right back into service for a little bit, and then I get through that big chunk of like the most important time. And that's what I enjoy the most, is actually being with the people. And then I leave around somewhere between like 7 and 8 o'clock at night, and then I go home. And then I guess then I try to spend a couple hours with my wife, and we just talk about the day.
Right.
She's artistic, so I try to see what she came up with for the day. And she also works from home, so she's in marketing too. So she kind of tells me about what she's working on, and I'm always interested because it's not always my strong suit. And I go to bed and start all over again. So
Right. That's cool. It's cool. Like I can feel that there's like pretty much like a system that you actually like go through and that kind of stuff. And honestly I find that it's a very good thing to do, like having a system to, like do stuff. And then like I feel like you are kind of like self-aware of like what you kind of like enjoy, you like doing like certain things like talking to people, and then you just kind of like do it. I think it's important to to find like I feel like it's like pretty much like a balance kind of thing. Like you can't be like doing meetings like for like 24/7 for the whole day. You will be like totally drained out, and it doesn't actually make sense for you to actually do that, to be honest. And I just feel like it's kind of like what you're doing, it's like a lot of balancing, like getting to like meet the people, serve the people, and then like sort of like a refuel for you. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know for that. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think the morning is like me time, and then yeah, 14 hours of I give everything to other people,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like family time at the end. But yeah, I'm definitely an extrovert, so during that business time, it's nice. It does get re-energizing to have like one or two times when you can just relax and talk to people and make them. You can like directly see that they're happy or enjoying, or you're giving them something good. You're not stuck doing the same old boring stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's
And,
gonna
and
be
it
like
just
super
started.
boring, right? Yeah.
I mean, luckily it hasn't been too boring recently because this place is only a year old, and
Yeah.
it's finally getting the like boring is good for most people because it means there's systems and routines and means making money, but it
Yeah.
gets boring to me.
Yeah. I mean, like life isn't just like about like making money and that kind of stuff. So I get what you trying to go right over here. It's like it's not gonna like be exciting, and like if you like keep on doing the same old shit, like it's not fun. Like to be
Yeah,
honest, like keep on having the meetings. Yeah, sure you are getting all those like money in, but that kind of stuff. But are you like fulfilled inside? That's I think that's the main thing, because like I feel that you kind of like getting the financial side pretty much stable in a sense, and that's good and all. But what's the next step right now is to like look towards like are you feeling happy, are you feeling fulfilled, are you going for your passion, that kind of stuff. That's why I think you at the start you before that I heard I believe like you kind of like talk about like you want to try like different things like probably doing the dance thing on the side, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to me. Yeah. So like besides that, like what do you actually like get into? Like other than like this whole meeting stuff and all that kind of stuff, like you taking care of your kids, like is there anything new or like any like new prioritization? Because like you talk about like you having like, you know, a kind of like a new life after having a kid.
Yeah. I guess the things I do when I'm not at work now are, I mean, yes, it's actually spending time with a kid because I think I am definitely prone to want to stay at work longer, and I will inevitably miss, the little kid years, which I think I could regret, and I don't ever really want to regret anything. And so
Yeah.
I'm trying to just spend time, which is sounds boring, but is important. Um, I really want to get to a point where I could dance with my wife because
Right.
it's like a hobby that you can do together. I'm like when I dance professionally, I didn't dance with her. She knows how to dance, but she's not a professional dancer. But I'd
Yeah.
like to get to a point where we can do that as like our date nights. Um,
That'll be
other than
cool.
that, we just
Yeah.
yeah, I mean we go out to eat and research and explore. Um, and I'm like part of I'm Christian and we have I'm new to the city, so it's kind of helpful to meet friends. I'm still in that process of meeting people, right? So because I've been so busy at work that I barely have time to meet people. A lot of my friends I've met through my wife's friends that she met here, and so just trying to create connections. And it's funny because as you get older, you create different types of connections.
Right.
Like you have people that have also accumulated lots of shitty jobs, and so you can connect with them on your shitty jobness, and you're finally at a point where it's not so shitty, you know. Um,
Right.
and I think I really connect with people that are people truthfully like you. Like it doesn't matter what uh what point in their life they are. They're trying new things and they're ambitious, and it doesn't matter if they have $1 million, but they're trying to do things, create things. And as you get more experience, like people have a better ability to do that, and they can move faster with it. So I'm meeting some people that are a little bit older and have a lot of experience and are creating things very fast, and that's exciting for me to like meet people like that have resources and have the knowledge and the experience to like actually accomplish the things that we always talked about. So
Yeah.
that's an exciting time in my life right now that we have access to that type of person that in the beginning you're just hustling, trying to create value for yourself, and now there's finally some value, and now you're just trying to do something with it, and there's
Yeah.
people around that you can do that with. Which that's Gary's point of patience. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I'm not patient, but a
Yeah.
little bit of it is paying off, but I'm still so impatient.
Yeah, I mean that there's a lot of things to do. Yeah, like you got to like stay on track. Like sure enough, like you got off the bullshit job and all that kind of stuff. But it feels like there's still so much of things that's ahead of you right now, right? Like you talk about like talking to more experienced people, like much older people, like talk about like their mindset, their lifestyle, or what's or not, so that you can kind of like learn from that. And I love that a lot. That you actually like approach like different people to like learn from each other. It's like a kind of like never stop learning kind of a thing. You know, like you're always learning. You're always like getting better. And I love that a lot. And I really wish to to do that for myself as well. You know, like stay on track. Keep the culture up. Like I love like basically what I'm talking about right over here. It's I think being humble. You know, like you don't like get egoistic or like cocky that you are at this level already and then you don't stop learning that kind of thing. And I love that. You know.
Yeah, and I think I'm a piece of shit every day. It's like I haven't accomplished anything in my life, and then a lot of my employees look like, oh my gosh, how have you done all this stuff? By the time I'm like, when I have, but I still haven't done anything. I mean, which is which is hard. I think a lot of people. I mean, I guess not everybody, but I guess that's not a bad mentality to have. Now that you kind of mentioned that humility, like it's
Yeah.
not bad to think that you haven't done anything because it makes you hungry
Mm.
and it makes you open to learning. I guess what have you like from doing all these podcasts? What have you like? What's like one of the best pieces of like advice or like the best things that you've heard somebody tell you?
Kind of like I actually tune out all the advices they kind of like give me, because like I feel that like I'm at this point of time, like getting to look at my perspective. I feel that it's pretty bad, to be honest. I feel that I have bad judgment towards like people's advices and all that kind of stuff. But I do
What do you
believe
mean?
that I just have a gut feeling that that like basically like people giving me advices, like usually I will see where they are coming from, like what kind of like person they are. And like do you have experienced like people who have like a bad background, like they are being like a negative kind of person, but they like to enjoy like giving you advices, that kind of stuff.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think I
oh, yeah.
was like kind of like confused with that, to be honest. I always like listening to those like negative people, then like listening to their advices and like kind of like following, and it doesn't make sense to me. Then like I don't know, like I don't know, like last year, and then like I just feel that I got to like look where they're coming from, have context of like where they're coming from. And I feel that Gary V, like, is pretty much like one of the little guys, like I don't know, like there's very few people that I actually listen properly to their advices. And I have a gut feeling, like Gary Vee is like a guy who's very special. He talks about empathy, he talks about kindness, which I don't think like much people actually talk about that, to be honest. And that's why I kind of like him a lot, and that it's
Well, and
like
he's
his
not trying to make money. That's what I like. I mean,
yeah,
like 5, 10 years ago, he was in the same group with like a lot of similar people, but they're all trying to make money off of
right,
you. He's
yeah,
not trying to make money off of people, which it is true. Like the amount of patience it takes to like get to the point where he's at, with how much effort he's put in to how much he gets back, is like mind-boggling,
yeah,
And for somebody who like truly wants to give without
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, it's impressive.
Yeah, yeah, like if you got to think about it, like Monday to Friday, you spend an hour like just to do this whole tea with Gary kind of thing, to like actually provide value for others. I mean, like from that, I think you can really tell that he's actually kind of like helping. Although once in a while he would like, oh, sign up for winetext.com or whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's fine. Like, dude, like,
I mean, it's genius though.
yeah,
I mean, it's literally like the Facebook model of like everything, like awesome value, huge stuff for free. I mean, it's his whole jab, right hook thing, but like, and then all of a sudden you have all these people watching, dude, fucking sign up for wine text. And like, yeah, of course you will. I mean, it makes
yeah,
so simple, but so effective.
yeah.
But I guess it's hard to get to that point where you have that many people following you. You have to
Right.
provide a lot of value.
Right. That I mean like that guys is like insane, because like recently I think I the last episode I did with Dustin. Yeah. Like I did the podcast with Dustin, and like he was like kind of like telling me like how insane like Gary is, like
Wait, like
he's so yeah,
Dustin from Gary.
Dustin from
Nice.
Team Gary V. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sweet. How'd that
Yeah.
go?
It went like pretty well, to be honest. Like I've like I found out that like my character and Dustin is like way too similar, and like I feel like our mental and everything is pretty much the same. Like yeah, I was kind of like shocked, to be honest.
How did he get his job with Gary?
Oh, what's that?
How did he get his job with Gary?
Oh, he was like saying that like, oh, he was in shitty job until like
Yeah.
31, and then he listened through a radio from Gary V saying that if you don't like your job, you should quit it, and that kind of stuff. And he took it he thought that he took it way too literally, and then he actually like just quit his job. Like he stayed unemployed for 2 years while trying to constantly applying for Team Gary V, and eventually he got it. Yeah, he said he was like way too lucky, and that people should not like follow his footsteps, like just literally just quit your job. And yeah, he's a funny guy, to be honest. Like yeah, he's
Do they,
so,
so my, do they
yeah.
work like? I mean, do they work just as much as Gary does? That's my question. Like, do they work like 18 hours a day? The people that are on Team Gary. Did he say
Yeah.
he did that? Or?
I didn't really get like the full context out of that, but I think he said that most of his work is just done in like in Gary Vee, whatever Gary Vee asks him to do, then he do it, and he gets burnt out whenever he reach home. Yeah. That's what he kind of like told me. Yeah,
Huh.
he don't do anything else other than like
Gary stuff.
yeah, Gary stuff, and I can pretty much like tell why, because like Gary is so
Yeah, so much. Yeah.
bro,
Well,
like
and that's the thing. Oh, and that's the thing is like, so like Gary, he gets his like relaxation from business. Like that's like his. I mean, like a form of business. I think he like probably gets stressed out about some form of business, but then he gets relaxed by other forms of business. Whereas like me, I like business, and I like it, but that's not my escape. Like it is, but my escape is dance. So like I need that to like reset me. And I think Gary needs like a form of business to reset him, which is just crazy. And
yeah.
then I think it isn't a bad thing, you know. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we get to a point where like we think, oh, we have to be like him and do work as much as we can. But truthfully, that's what makes him happy. But like I could never do like work Monday through Friday, 20 hours a week, and then only spend like one day with your family. Like my wife would divorce me in 2 seconds. And I would not be
Right.
happy. Like that wouldn't work. And I feel like I wouldn't satisfy whatever I'm supposed to be doing in this world if I did that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, like life is like very different from like different people. Like Gary has like his own way of doing things, and you have like your own way of doing things. And yeah, like we have reached like 30 minutes, and I hope you have a good time like talking, and we should definitely do a catch up. Uh, you
Yeah.
know, next time, or like I don't know, 2 weeks or 1 month later. I don't know, like like this is like what you said. Playing in the mud,
Yeah.
like trying to like do stuff and figuring out stuff, and I totally like this a lot, and hope you enjoy, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Cool, man.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Yeah,
See ya.
see
Bye
you.
bye.